So this question is x squared minus 6x plus 25 equals 0. Again, this cannot be factored. So I will try it first with the quadratic formula. A is 1, B is -6, C is 25. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we get x is negative b, the negative of -6 is positive 6, plus or minus the square root of b squared. -6 squared minus 4ac, 4 times 1 is 25, all divided by 2a, all divided by 2 times 1. So we get x is 6 plus or minus the square root of -6 squared, -6 times -6, positive 36 minus 4 times 1 times 25 minus 100 over 2. So we get x is 6 plus or minus 36 minus 100 is a negative number. It's -64 all over 2. So this is not going to be real. We're going to have complex solution. So it'll be 6 plus or minus the square root of -1 times the square root of 64 over 2 equals x. So that's 6 plus or minus I times 8 over 2 equals x. Remember, the square root of -1 is I. So we get x equals 6 over 2 plus or minus 8i over 2, which will give us 3 plus or minus 4i. 3 plus or minus 4i. I like to go ahead and write that in set notation. So 3 plus 4i is one of the solutions. 3 minus 4i is another one of the solutions. So that was solving it with the quadratic formula. Next, let's do it with completing the square. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 25 is 0. We need the x's on the left. We need anything that's not an x on the right. I need the first term to be a 1, and it is, so that's good. So I'll subtract 25 from both sides. And we get 1x squared minus 6x equals -25. Then we need to do what? We need to complete the square. I like to draw a square to enable me to complete it. So here's x squared. These two have to add up to -6x. So x times x is x squared. If I split the -6x in half, here's -3x here and -3x there. X times -3, x times -3. Finish it up with -3 times -3 is positive 9. Positive 9 here, positive 9 there. So you can see x squared minus 6x plus 9 is the same as x minus 3 times x minus 3. Excuse me, if I add 9 on the left, I've got to add 9 on the right to balance the equation. So x minus 3 times x minus 3 is what we have here, which of course gives me x minus 3 squared. So the left-hand side is x minus 3 squared. Again, I added 9 to complete the square to make this thing a perfect square, so we had to add 9 on the right. -25 plus 9 is -16. So the next thing I need to do is I need to take the square root of both sides. Square root of x minus 3 squared is square root of -16. Remember, if you take the square root of something squared, it's really absolute value. You need plus or minus. So x minus 3 is plus or minus square root of -1 times the square root of 16. X minus 3 is plus or minus I times 4. X is 3 plus or minus I times 4, which we usually write as 3 plus or minus 4i. So my two answers written in set form, 3 plus 4i and 3 minus 4i.